Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. So guys, in this video we will have our discussion on the Mahesh triangle. So guys, you got it right. When it comes down to this specific question or query that how my old age is going to be, lot many people have this way of looking at the chart that they will look at the dignity and strength of the Saturn in the chart, or let's say for example in that specific age which planetary dasha a person is going to be running. Based on that, someone can give you this prediction that this is how your old age experiences are going to be. But just because guys, astrology is very diverse, in the morning only I was having a discussion with another good astrologer friend of mine and who suggested me this perspective way of looking at the chart. So I just thought, I'm a creator, let's make a video on that and share this point with you people as well. So guys, to begin with, it all comes down to first understanding the Mahesh as well, like the three prime Hindu gods. So guys, in Hindu pantheon, over there Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh are considered as the three prime Hindu gods. Brahma has been attached as the duty of being a creator. Lord Vishnu has been attached with the responsibility of managing and perseverance of whatever Brahma has created. And Mahesh or the Shiva has got the duty of destroying and recreating it. So these are the specific jobs which has been attached with all these three prime gods. Now guys, when it comes down to understanding these triangles over there, you have to divide your chart, all the 12 houses, as per the duties assigned to these three prime Hindu gods. So for example, Brahma, who has attached with the responsibility of being a creator, is connected with the Kendra Bhava or the angular houses, like the first house, 4th house, 7th house and the 10th house. And like the way guys, for any astrological analysis, angular houses are considered as very important. It hardly matters that even if you have got exalted planets in the trine house, like the way we say that 11th house is the house of the wish fulfillment, even if you have got majority of the planets being placed in the 11th house, but with a condition that the angular houses are empty, it is not considered as a good sign. Like it takes away, snatches the power from the chart. Because when we talk about laying foundation to something, being secured in your life, people who have got so many properties, people who have created a name, established a name for themselves, they have actually created big businesses all by themselves. They are self-made. Over there, the angular houses plays a very important role. Guys, why to go very far? Even for this table, no matter how good the top is, but if the base is not going to be strong, you cannot call this table as a good table. So this is the kind of strength which generally comes from the angular houses, which as per the Hindu trilogy is attached with the Brahma. Now comes the Lord Vishnu. So the Vishnu triangle can be attached with the 2nd house, with the 5th house, with the 8th house and with the 11th house. So guys, these houses are very important because it hardly matters whether you have created something on your own, but if these houses are going to be in a strengthened state, somehow life will give you the assistance. This could be a case that the 2nd house, like people who generally acquire any of the family businesses, people who remain lucky in big speculative wins, the 5th house, people who get married to the rich spouse in the rich families, 8th house, or the 11th house, people who actually remain lucky that they succeed in the life because of the cooperation and contribution from the community, from the society. That might be the 11th house. Now guys, comes the Mahesh triangle. So Mahesh triangle in our chart is the 3rd house, 6th house, 9th house and the 12th house. Guys, they can also be attached with the human consciousness in a way that 3rd house tells about your lower mind, 9th house tells about your higher mind, 6th house is the most important house. This is the house of the Prarabdha. Like the way guys, when we talk about people who become successful astrologer, people who become healers, in their case, people have got this notion of looking only at the 8th house. 8th house is the house of occult. 8th house is the house of the astrology. If you have got important planets being placed in the 8th house, you are a person who has got a strong interest in astrology. You might be very researchful as well. But guys, when we talk about all those kind of people who actually become a healer, and you do not have even any answer that how come this person is so special that whatever he prescribe, it actually work as a miracle, because it is the divine blessing or the grace which actually gave him this as a profession. This was not this person's choice. It's like the divine chose him. Why? Because from the 9th house, 6th house is the 10th house, where the divinity, where the higher consciousness chooses you, picks you for that holy work. So people who have got important planets being placed in the 6th house. So that is the only reason, with the involvement of other, like this could be Ashwini Nakshatra, this could be the involvement of the Ketu, these people end up becoming good healers as well. Because the divinity in itself, the God itself chose this person and gave him the powers. After that guys, the 12th house becomes very important, because 12th house is the actual house of the super consciousness, the nature, where nature in itself takes control of you. So when we talk about the Mahesh triangle, the 3rd house, 6th house, 9th house and the 12th house becomes very important. Now guys, before we will get into that, I made this video specifically to make you guys understand that when it comes down to decoding how an individual's old age is going to be, how you can connect it with the Mahesh triangle. So guys, that's very simple. Generally the philosophy which gets followed in the Sanatan Dharma, in the Vedic system, is that a human life cycle is divided into 4 stages. Like the very first stage, like whatever a lifespan is, you make equal 4 parts of it. The very first part is going to be spent on being a celibate and completely in the pursuit of the knowledge. Second is going to be the household duties. When you get married, you raise a family, you contribute to the society. Third is the Vanprasth. When we say this thing, that you have to slowly, gradually be prepared to give control to your successor, to your children, to your family. And the last is the sannyas, where you completely relinquish all the control. So these are the 4 stages. Same is the way guys, when we talk about from this discussion sake, so all these 3 prime Hindu gods which I mentioned, they can also be attached in a way that a human life cycle can be divided into 3 parts. So if someone is supposed to live 75 years of the age, a soul is born with a promise of 75 years of the lifespan. So that can be divided into 3 phases, as from birth till 25 years of the age, from 25 till 50 years of the age, from 50 till 75 years of the age. So the Brahma triangle can be attached with the first phase, the Vishnu triangle can be attached with the second phase, and the Mahesh triangle can be attached with the third phase. So guys, generally the way it has been explained, and many astrologers found that in their research, is that if you will find malefic planets in the Mahesh triangle, it is not considered as good to have a very contented kind of old age. Now what is the logic for that? So guys, simply put, like if you will find malefic planets being there in the Mahesh triangle, it simply tells about that either the person is going to be very attached to his possession, or he will find it very difficult to let it go. Like the way I explained the 4 phases of a human life as per the Sanatan Dharma, the Vedic philosophy, like the Brahmacharya, then the household, the Grahast, then the Vanprasth, and then the Sannyas. So people who have got malefic planets being placed in the Mahesh triangle, 3rd house, 6th house, 9th house, 12th house, they find it very difficult to let go of the control. Like the way guys, why to go very far? Like in India, on and off you keep on coming across these kind of news, where one of the business family, I guess it's Raymond or I forgot the name, where the father who actually built a whole business, in his old age he was being relinquished or like thrown out of the family business, even the family house, by his own son. So that generally happens. So guys, over here I'm not saying that like if you are going to have the benefic planets being placed over here in the 3rd house, 6th house, 9th house, 12th house, it is going to be very easy for you. The concern over here is that if you're going to have the benefic planets in the Mahesh triangle, God forbid, even if your chart is telling about that you're going to have problem, you're going to have betrayal, you will not be treated by your children well, whatever is the reason, you will accept it, you will not fight with it, and you will easily transcend to the next phase or stage of your life. The problem with the malefic planet is that these people get adamant, these people fight with it, and somehow because of that they create more misery, more problems in their old age. And guys, why to go very far? I guess whatsoever religious philosophy and theological text which I have read, one thing which has been common in majority of these religions is that whatever is the thought which is coming to you in your old age, not old age, I mean to say at the time of the death, somehow that governs what kind of birth you will take in the next life. Like the way in some of the religion they say that even if at a time of the death you are thinking about sex, you will become a pig in the next life. So there have been so many ideologies which is attached over there. I will share one small story, then I will get back to this discussion. So I heard it in one of the Bhagavad Katha in India. So India, which has got this name Bharat, which has been named on the name of a jubilant king, Bharat. So what happened? This king, who was very jubilant, too much of the success, glory, he actually built a very good empire, destroyed all of his enemies, raised a good family, created a good name for himself. But when the 4 phases, the right phase came, he gave away the complete control of his empire to his children, and he went to the forest to find the God, to do meditation and devote his last few years only in the pursuit of finding the Brahm, finding the God. So what happened? Once he was there in a river, he was praying and worshipping the rising sun. So right in front of him, he saw a deer being chased by a wild animal, and when that deer was pregnant, and while just crossing the river or that water, she gave birth to a newborn, and she ran few steps and she died over there. So the king got pity on that newborn. He took that deer, took him to his hut. So he took him to his hut, and every time whenever he's doing the meditation and something, that deer is like a newborn kid. It's like playing. Sometime it will sit on the lap of the king, sometimes it will just play around him, and slowly gradually he also started getting attached and being affectionate to that deer. So what happened? Now he cannot even focus on the meditation, because every time he's sitting in the meditation, he's getting distracted that if some wild animal will come, it will take that deer away, it will eat that deer away. He started tying it to a tree, and later on what happened, once he was doing the meditation and the deer was playing, he saw other herd of deers passing by the forest, and he somehow jumped the fence, started playing with them, and he vanished from there. Now the minute the king's meditation got over, now he's stressed, he's depressed, he is wandering looking for that deer with tears in his eyes. So imagine a king who gave away the whole kingdom, empire. In his last breath, he was thinking about the deer. And then there is a long story that in his next life he was born again as a deer, and in next cycle then he got the final salvation or the enlightenment. But again guys, the point over here is that if you will find in the Mahesh triangle malefic planets. Now guys, sometimes what happens is that we know this thing that if you're going to have like planets like Mars, being you are a Scorpio Lagna, ascendant Lord Mars is exalted in the 3rd house. Or let's say for example you are a Taurus Lagna. In your 9th house you have got your Yogarak planet, which is like Saturn is exalted over there. You have Mars being conjunct over there. So these are those kind of people who find it very easy because of their hard work, and luck also support them. They are able to build an empire. But the problem comes in the old age when they find it very difficult to leave the control, they still somehow remain attached to their desires, to their possession. And because of this attachment, if the prarabdha, if the destiny is in a way that it is being taken away from them by their own children, by whatsoever circumstances, they fight for it. And even in the old age, they remain depressed, they remain sad because of it. So this is how it has been explained. But let's say, for example, I already explained, if you're going to have the benefic planets being placed over there, so natural benefic, I mean to say, like Moon, Mercury, Venus, Jupiter. So even if you have that in your destiny, that in your old age your children will take away things from you, you will not make a fuss out of it. You will accept it and you will pass to the next phase of being ready and willing to give away your body and smoothly transition to the next phase of the another dimension or the next life. So this is how it has been explained. And I just wanted to make a short video, a small video, where I wanted to talk about the Mahesh triangle. So yes guys, next time when you are doing a assessment of the chart, so when it comes down to the question of the old age, you do not only have to look at the Saturn or the Dasha which is going to be running at that phase at that time. You also have to give attention to the 3rd house, 6th house, 9th house and the 12th house. The strength of the planets over there and the nature of the planets over there. Like the way guys, when we talk about the Rahu and Ketu. So Rahu and Ketu are like, you know, they are the planets of destiny. They do not give us any free will. Like the way guys, I follow a lot of the television, like the way you know, this show Vikings, Ragnar Lothbrok. I remember in one of the scene when he goes to a shaman and he tells him, you know, you will die on a day when the blind man can see you. I was like, when a blind man can see you? And it happens in the show. And yeah, I still remember in one of the episode what he used to do, just because he wanted to go to the Valhalla, I forgot the name, it's been a long time, that he even started to you know, dug the earth and store some valuables over there, so that he will take them with him in his next lifetime. So yes, there have been so many stories surrounding it. But guys, in this video I wanted to say that yes, when we talk about the Rahu and Ketu, somehow your destiny is locked. You do not have any free will over there. And again guys, there have been so many combinations. Sometimes people say that, you know, if you have planet like Jupiter in the 8th house, so some people also say this thing that there will be no death which will happen in front of you, because Jupiter is so strong in the 8th house. Like let's say for example, if you are around a dying person, he will not give away his life in front of you, because somehow Jupiter is like a Jeev Karaka, it is giving the life, it will keep that person on hold. So again guys, see, again, death is a form of acceptance. And the way we say this thing, sometimes I find it very difficult when people are like, I guess Saturn in this way, in its time period on me, operating on me, it has actually made me cold in a way that it has made me unaffected because of the things. And I guess this is how it has to be with everyone. Like death is also a phase in the life, and if a person has died under smooth circumstances, being well taken care by own family members, then you cannot be emotional enough to still being grinding on that fact. So yes guys, this is, and again guys, yeah, I forgot to mention this thing, and I guess that is the only reason when we talk about the Rahu and Ketu. So if they are not well placed in the chart, they somehow, because these are the planets of the attachment and the desire, especially the Rahu. So this is what happens, you know, when like all those kind of case studies and the stories when you come across, where the mother was so attached that how my children will be taken care of when I will die, who will look after them, or in those cases where you have any of the child with a special needs and you are being worried even at your deathbed, being worried on the well-being of that. Again guys, like if there is a God which is taking care of the sun, which is taking care of the season, which is responsible for our heartbeat, for our breath, so everyone comes with their own promised destiny. No one else is responsible for anyone else. You are in that delusion if you are of this mindset that I am responsible for this person. No, it's like you're just doing your part, other person has got its own destiny to fulfill. So I mean to say, these are those people like who tend to remain so attached. And again, then there have been those kind of stories where that mother was so attached, she was not even letting go. Then there have been stories that the house started witnessing some paranormal kind of activities and all, because the spirit is not letting go of the control, it is still wandering, in a very unpeaceful way, and still attached to the same house. So this is a negative case of the Rahu and Ketu. And the positive cases, when people in whose case the elderly members are being bid adieu, they are given farewell when they die with happiness, with peace, with contentment. So these are those people, they are reborn as a child in the same family, and these are the children who remain very successful. Like the way, why to go very far, I have seen so many charts where Jupiter and Ketu are placed in the 9th house, and if a child is born, he will show and demonstrate some talents which will come from the ancestors. Like the way, guys, now Ketu is going to be transiting in the Leo. So this could be a case that, especially for the Aries Lagna natives, like where Ketu is there in the 5th house, so all those people who will be conceiving a child during this time, so there might be a possibility that you will a child who is going to be born will carry the exceptional trait or qualities of any of the departed elderly family member as well. So all those possibilities can still be attached. But again, guys, over here as well, like you cannot force your way, because sometimes what happens is that people by themselves create that impression, and then they start force feeding it that, okay, this is what has been expected out of you, and this is how this child has to behave. No, then you are coming in the way of the nature. So yes, guys, I never thought that it's going to be that long of the discussion. But yes, in short, I just wanted to talk about that next time. If you have to see the chart from the point of view of determining the old age and all, so the Mahesh triangle, the 3rd house, 6th house, 9th house, 12th house, do give it proper attention. So yes, guys, for further more updates and notification on the divine science of Vedic astrology, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and follow me on my Instagram account. Dhanyavad.